Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ProRevenge. You're watching I Read 'em, the only channel you need for your ProRevenge needs. Before we start, please click like, subscribe and the bell icon for more videos. Subscribing is free and you can always unsubscribe. Thanks.
Bully me? Fine, but I'll start a fire as I leave. Edits added for clarity. I originally posted this in Nuclear Revenge, but was told to post it here instead. Sorry it's so long. TL. Doctor at the end. Asterisk 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 the title is meant as a metaphor. There was not a literal fire. I wish I had though. I worked at a Fortune 500 company for almost a year and a half. I won't name names, but it was a shady company to say the least. I started in their quality department, but I was literally fired for being too quality for the quality department because I would report sales agents that were forcing crying retirees into making a purchase. So they moved me to the business verification department so I could instead make these customers happier with their purchase. I'm sorry to say I was far too good at this job as well. I got constant kudos from the quality department that I always hit my marks. I always verified and corrected information, followed procedure to a T, and even took on several extra projects just to help out, including preparing and sending gifts out to our higher volume customers on behalf of the sales reps. I was always on time, I was friendly with everyone, and yet I didn't quite fit in. As a matter of fact, only one person on this new team was someone I could talk to. The others were all mid to late 30s, with kids and husbands/ex-husbands. Best way to describe them, it's the Heathers that grew old and hated it. They would constantly bully me. I don't mean tease me, I mean they would joke about forcing me to work in a broom closet. They would report me for cell phone use, even though cell phones were allowed, just no recording or video calling. Since we would verify card and address information verbally, they would deliberately leave me out of company food orders and celebrations, and even convinced the manager not to promote me, and instead promoted someone who had been there less time. With worse quality, only because she fit in better. She'd literally cost the company money shipping product to the wrong address multiple times, and still was promoted within the department. They would also berate me for the state of my desk. I will say I don't keep a super clean desk, but we are not customer facing, and it was my organized chaos. It wasn't old food or trash, just a general scattering of notes and trinkets that never overflowed past my desk. The real juice here though was about 4 months into this position. I started documenting all the bullying. Every instance, every word, with a date and time and often a reference within the company's system for where to locate proof of the bullying, all on those little notepads. Well, one day I come back from lunch, and they had gone through my desk to clean it, going so far as to move my trinkets and pictures around on my desk. I took everything home that day, but I know they'd actually been after my notebooks. Thankfully I just had to buy a third one. I filled the first 2 up, so it was mostly empty. The final straw came on a fateful February afternoon. It was a Thursday. The one co-worker I got along with and I had been texting back and forth, mostly Craigslist ads for job openings and funny memes to get us through the day, because remember, phones are allowed. She goes to lunch as I'm coming back, and I get called into their lawyer's office. Me and my one and only friend were being given formal write-ups. Why? Direct quote, your co-workers know you are texting about them and laughing, and they don't like it. So I was getting a write-up because of an assumption that they had no proof of to begin with, and wasn't even remotely true. The topper of this was as I exited the write-up, one of them was FaceTiming her husband, which was against the rules, but of course she wasn't even spoken to about it. I was done. Beyond done. I put my head down, barely worked the rest of the day. When I got home, I texted my manager and let her know I was using PTO and it'd be out Friday. I spent the whole weekend working on my resignation because I wanted it to be just right. You see, it'd been there a year and a half at that point, and I knew a few things about how this shady company operates by now. I knew on Thursday this was going to be my first time ever to quit a job, and I wanted to do it upright. I wrote in there specific details of the bullying, dates, times. I mentioned I had many more examples documented. I wrote how it was known behavior and even condoned by the manager. I wrote about the write-up. Then, after many critiques, I saved it as a draft. I walked in on Monday morning, 8 AM on the nose. I didn't bother clocking in, and it already cleaned out my desk, remember? I sat down, printed 2 copies of my email, and then sent it directly to the CEO. I of course dropped a copy off with ours, and then walked out. Not a word to my manager. Only my one friend knew the plan. You see, I knew he'd snuff out the fire if I said anything to them about why I quit. Sweep it under the rug. Oh well, one more person who quit. By involving the CEO, I eliminated that as an option. In 30 minutes their lawyer was calling me for an exit interview. They were worried I would sue for a hostile working environment. In hindsight, I should've, but I was more worried about my mental health than monetary compensation. I found out from my friend that I had in fact started that fire. The whole department was put under review for bullying, cell phones were completely banned, and the manager and her lackeys, last I heard, had been demoted. I also heard whispers that they'd dissolved it completely and merged it with the quality team, but I'm not positive on that. I'm sure it didn't fix everything, but I hope they at least keep their hands out of other people's desks from now on. TL. Doctor, my entire team at a Fortune 500 company and bullying and harassing me to the point of unfair write-ups. So when I quit I sent an email directly to the CEO about my resignation along with the information that everything was thoroughly documented, causing them to majorly reform the department and demote people after I walked out. Edits for clarity. Based on many comments, this story is from approximately 4 years ago. I googled to see if it was still a Fortune 500 company to this day, and it is. It was not a large company, maybe 400 or 500 people, most of them were sales. Like 90% were sales. Again though, that was 4 years ago. I have no idea how big they are now. I was not a rando emailing the CEO. I had met and spoken with the CEO several times. The write-up was not just me and the lawyer. My manager and the hours head were also there. They did force me to sign it though, which I found out later was very illegal, but I did get copies of it for my copious amount of documentation which I do still have. I'm by no means perfect. I'm very non-confrontational, so emailing the CEO and walking out was a big move for me, but by that point it was either walk out or throw myself off the top floor, so I elected to walk out. The statements I made about my performance are ones that were told to me, most of which by the same quality manager who fired me. She was actually quite a nice person and quit just a few weeks before I did and offered me a reference because I know she saw what I was going through and was hoping I'd quit too. I know I'm not the perfect co-worker, but at the minimum I tried to do a good job. When I say I was too good at the business verification position, I mean I'm too good at assuaging the concerns of a retiree who just spent several $1,000s on things that were essentially worthless. I didn't enjoy being good at that, but I was. The salespeople would always try to get the verification calls sent to me because they knew I'd be able to get it done. A few people have questioned the reality of this post, which honestly surprises me. I thought my story was quite tame all things considered, but everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I'm open to questions, but I am trying to maintain anonymity of the company. Not because I want to, just because I know they have a social media department that monitors reviews and things about the company. I hope this clears things up, but again, I'm open to questions. And now for some of the comments from the post. USA has damn near zero worker protections, unless you are a protected class. Harassment? Bullying? Verbal or emotional abuse? Nope. Hostile workplace? Also nope. I can't count the amount of guys I know who've heard from lawyers. Yeah, you really were treated awfully. Too bad you're not a woman, disabled, etc. You'd win your case. Source: working startups in Silicon Valley. I didn't get shit on as bad as you, but enough. My company had $4mm a year in excess from the cost savings I was providing, yet we are reporting it to the board as capital expenditures on random bullshit. When I quit, I forwarded the data to the federal auditor that oversees electric utilities and told them I was available 24/7. The CEO resigned, and my old boss committed suicide. It wasn't what I was going for, but I have little control over what people do to themselves. He supposedly killed himself for other reasons, but I like to think I helped.
Thank you all for watching. Please make sure that you like, subscribe and click the bell icon for more videos. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please leave a comment. I have lots of other videos on my channel too, so please go check them out if you want.